Testing, 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 1, 2. Testing, 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 1, 2. Testing, 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 1, 2. Well, according to this, you can hear me. Adobe plugin. For some reason, oh dang, close tabs. And, okay, I'm getting some right there. Okay, it's working, arguably. Yo, 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 yo. Yo, my homies. Rolling with my homies. Video output low. What the hell am I supposed to do about that? And what the heck? It's okay. This week started out good. It's rapidly going into decline. Okay, is there anybody out there? Let's see here. Got one person watching. Probably me. Ah! Is there anybody else there? Who's watching now? Who's watching? Dang, I'm hungry. I'm going to have to switch back. I've been using New Moon for a while, but New Moon is like eating its own face lately, and I'm probably going to have to switch back to Firefox. Oh, big thing in the big thing on the news today, in the internet news, in the internet world. Dun 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 dun. Once again, we get our regularly scheduled panic alert about how Windows is actually spying on us all. Oh God, the horror, the horror. Eek, run around in circles, scream, faint, pass out. Okay, the barn door has been open on that one for a long time, okay? The ship has sailed. Alright? I picked up some books on, one of those how to live off the grid kind of things. And you know what? You would literally have to live like it was the 18th century to stay off the grid completely. And even the government even keeps track of the Amish, so give it up. It's too late to panic. Come on, computer. Lag, 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 lag. Laggy, laggy, lag. Lag, laggy, laggy, lag. Okay, the audio's coming through fine. Alright, is anybody out there? According to this, there's one person watching, and that one person is probably, it's probably recording as me. I don't know. if you're watching, type something. Type something in the chat window. I'm not seeing anything. Now, the thing was, I really liked New Moon. It was a little bit faster than Firefox, in fact. A little bit better in that regard. But lately now, it won't. It never ran Flash very easily. It would lock up, and you'd have to reboot the page over and over again. You'd log into a YouTube page, and you would have to reboot that page at least once to get it to run whatever Flash media was on there. And that was a drag and a half. And now, lately, New Moon has been locking up. And now Firefox is locking up. Okay, and it's a real drag. Okay, things have not been going well since yesterday. I finally broke down. I couldn't reach the guy I was trying to reach about those $400. So I wrote a note out and sent the $400 money order back in the mail. That killed me, because I needed that money. I needed it badly. It would have caught me up on my lot rent. I would have still been poor, but at least I would be conscientiously poor. That is to say, I would be still paying my bills properly. And now I am closing in on being 2 months behind on my rent, and I may be up to... I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm really, really hoping that the guy gets the thing, says, no, this is your payment, and sends it back. Because that's my only, I mean, $400. You have no idea how much it killed me to give it back. But this is what this, if you want to be, I've got guilty conscience on a lot of things in my life, and I don't want to add to it, I'm going to have to stand before God someday with my head hanging low. It doesn't need to have a reason to be hanging lower. So... in other news, the reason I wasn't on the air yesterday is because, Sunday night it was thunder showering around here. And I left the doors open so I could get some air circulating through here. I have an air conditioner, but it's a joke. It's good for blowing a cold stream of air right on you when you're sitting right next to it. My trailer. I swear, I want to beat whoever designed mobile homes with a baseball bat for this. A trailer is basically a wood and aluminum box. It's a solar oven, and it costs you more money than God to keep the thing bearable. In the summer, the temperature will go up 10, 20, 30 degrees higher than outside. Or more. You could roast to death in your own house. I have got 2 little wall plug-in air conditioners, one at each end of the house, and with both of them going together, the house will be hotter inside than it is outdoors in the middle of August. It's obscene. Poor people can never seem to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. This is the sort of thing is the reason why. This is the reason why being poor is so miserable in this country. Why it is so difficult, because just trying to maintain a minimum standard of living requires a constant vacuum of money. Now, air conditioning, look, air conditioning, okay, to some degree it's a luxury, but living in a house is not. And when the only housing you can afford is deliberately designed so that it is a roasting oven in the summer and an icebox in the winter, and it costs you a fortune just to keep it warm or cool, there's something fundamentally wrong here. Now, but anyway, I'm getting off the subject. Whenever I get a chance, I leave the doors. I don't have any screen doors. Now you can see where this is going. Is that after the storm, surprise, my house is full of flies, house flies. They're everywhere, and I've been running around with bug spray, 2 cans, everywhere. I have left out homemade fly traps. What you do is you take for a fly trap, you take a 2-liter bottle, like for soda. Plastic bottles. You cut off the top, turn the top over, and stick it down inside so that it's a funnel, and tape it around the top so it's together. And you put some something that'll attract the bugs, like honey, or they also suggest things like apple cider vinegar for some reason, or honey, or a bit of rotten meat, whatever. And you put it down inside the bottle. And then you pour about 1 inch of water in the bottom to drown the bugs. It's basically a yellow jacket trap, but it also works on house flies. And I've got about a half dozen of those things all over the house. Some of them are kind of working, some of them are not. I tried the honey, and it didn't seem to be drawing them. I tried the apple cider vinegar, and it's sort of meh. It's not really working too well. I have got fly paper strips all over the place. And yesterday, the reason I wasn't online yesterday is because I went to Lowe's and bought more fly paper strips and more bug poison. I got these window decals that are supposed to be, they release chemicals that kill flies. And I also bought. It cost me $30, $25, about a little over $30, because $25 for the lamp itself, and another $5 or so for the extension cord. And I bought myself a bug zapper at Walmart. I have a running bug zapper hanging in my living room. In the divider, from the divider between the living room and the kitchen area. And it has been running all day. And I had it running all night last night. When I went to the store, I went out there. I had about $50 left in the bank, and I got I had an old Lowe's card which I used to buy a bunch of bug spray stuff, and then I used last of my money and bought some of money and bought the bug zapper, and I was going to go ahead and buy myself some fried chicken and pop and stuff for dinner last night. And I looked at it and I said no, because I need a little bit of money in the bank in case a charge comes through. Just to there's a couple of things that might cost you. I need a little bit of money in the bank, so I left that. I said no, I'll do without the fried chicken and the pie and the soda, and I came on home, and I have hung that light up there. It is made by Black Flag. I swear, Black Flag has got to be the crappiest bug-killing products on the planet. I don't know why I trust Black Flag for anything, because I have sat here with a can of Black Flag bug spray, sprayed it right on top of like bugs, house flies and stuff, and seen them just fly off. Whatever, man. I swear, if I ever corner the CEO of Black Flag, I'm going to make him eat his own products. Anyway, I have had this bug zapper hanging up in my living room. Do not use indoors. I'm using it indoors. And it's hanging indoors. It's even got a little chemical attractant thing hanging on the side to help draw in mosquitoes and stuff. It's supposed to attract the insects even more. And it has not zapped a single fly. Literally. It's glowing, it's lit up, it's everything. It's even got the little pest attracting strip hanging on the side. That should have been the first sign, hang this chemical on the side to draw the insects closer. But there it is. It's hanging there. It's a $30 nightlight. I would have been better off just buying the pie, hanging the pie outdoors and letting the flies chase that. And here it is. It's sitting here all day, and I had it on all night too, and it did not zap one fly. Now I've seen bug zappers at work, psst, psst, and psst, and that thing, and not one fly is even interested. I got flies buzzing around in here. I got flies on the floor, just sitting out, hanging out. And not a one of them has flown up there to look at that. But they're not even looking at the dang thing. It's just, whatever, man. We'll stay down here on the curb. That's nothing. I'm halfway to the point where I want to pull the bug zapper down and try and hand it down to the flies. Go on, try this. Yeah. $30 down the drain. Yeah, it turns out, well, I went back and counted. His last payment was supposed to be in July, according to the records. The thing of it is that my records have been kind of, sloppy. And I'm not sure, I remember, at least, I remember a month where it seemed to come awful late. I remember it, and I'm not sure. But I'm not going to, I sent it back to him, the $400 money order, because I decided, I've counted to the best of my ability, and to the best of my information, he is paid up, and he paid up all, his last payment in July. The kicker is I still have to go out and spend $50 more to get the deed closure written out by an attorney. And then notarized. Then I got to get it notarized, and then I got to send it to him so that he can stick it in the city hall offices or the county office or whatever. And so I wrote a letter out saying, according to my records, your final payment was July. This is August. This was written out in August. Raid, flea, and bedbug. You know what's best for bugs? DDT. DDT was literally, and probably still is, the safest pesticide ever discovered by man. I mean, we had soldiers using it for delousing. That was how safe it was. That was how strong it was. But we had a bunch of weeping sissies who love bugs and maggots and flies more than they love human beings, who got it banned in this country based on bullcrap bunk. It wasn't even a scientific decision. It was a politically motivated court decision. The court itself admitted there was no proof that DDT caused any of the things that these enviro wackos were claiming. It was all hot air. But they outlawed it anyway. Because, hey, they had a career, the judge had a career to look after. And so now, we're running around spraying carcinogens in the air, trying to kill the houseflies and roaches in our house, and people in the third world are dying of malaria and other diseases that nearly died out. And that's not even counting all the food that humanity has lost to pests. There's a special roasting skewer in hell for these people, I think. Those people, for the sake of their own moral sanctimony, to make themselves feel pious, they did something that literally killed millions of people. And has caused human hunger, starvation, disease, and suffering. They have served as the handmaidens of plague and pestilence and famine. And if they're still alive, they're still running around, they're still proud of themselves for it. Because many of them, part of their goal was to see back before they banned DDT, these same people, and I'm not joking here, I'm not talking paranoid, they made, it was the exact same people. These people were going around lamenting the fact that so many little brown babies in the third world were living to be adults. One was on record saying that the only thing that would save the world from overpopulation is an epidemic, a plague, striking the third world. No plague was forthcoming, so they went for pestilence. So here we are, Am I bitter about this? Oh, yes. With flies crawling on my face? Yes, I'm kind of bitter about this. I'm sorry. I'm just grumpy right now. Okay. I had to send that $400 back. I've bought sprays and pesticides. I even got a bug zapper hanging in my living room, and nothing is working. I have to leave the doors open because if I don't, I roast. It's like 70 degrees outside, and it is at least 10 to 15 degrees warmer inside. It'll make it easier, to, stay comfortable in the fall. Right now, not so great. I'm just, in case you haven't guessed, I'm not, the week started out great. It sort of went downhill rather rapidly. Ups and downs, ups and downs. Okay, I've been checking on the, let's see here, Kickstarter. Okay, I think this new Kickstarter is going to meet the same fate as the other two-thirds of as most of the others I've had. Because got three, let's see, last I checked, had 3 supporters. Yep, got 20 days to go and 3 backers. Well, that's another thing that's just not going to happen, I suppose. So, there you have it. maybe it'll turn around. Maybe the guy will get the $400. He'll say, oh, no, and he'll write it back and say, oh, no, I counted, and send the $400 back. But I'm not counting on it. If somebody gave me a free $400 deduction, I'd take it. Of course, somebody just gave me a free $400 extra payment, and I didn't take that, so I don't know. I still got a box of liquid ant baits to put out. Yeah. I'm passing out notes, putting it everywhere, putting it on Twitter and Facebook, and I believe I put it in the forums. Yeah, I should have. Let me check. If I didn't, I'll do it now. Put it up in site news. If this will work. Keeping it simple, posting it up, and there's posted to the forums. Got it on Twitter, got it on Facebook, got it on... I'm kind of hungry. Okay, let's see how this looks. Doesn't seem to be working. The code. Submit. Oh, that doesn't work either. I'm still learning the tools. quote, delete, delete, font color URL, list code quote, image URL, flash normal, font color drop. No, that's not it either. I have no idea what code display means. Insert image. Okay, I've got the URL. Okay, I'm trying to post a widget here, but the widget is not widgetifying. Inside. Okay, let's edit. From border, blah 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 blah. I have no idea what that is. Code. Submit. Upload attachment. Here we go. No, that's not the file. That's not it. That's not. No. Lock topic, disable smileys. Whatever. I'm doing a little update on the web page. Remember me. Log in. It goes around and around and around and around and around, and it comes out here. Plugins, tools, plugins, appearance, widgets. Here we go. Up. Patreon, PayPal. No, that's not it. Go delete. You know, I tried to learn HTML back when I first started getting into the computers and the internet. And it seems like the more I tried to learn, the faster they changed it all. Okay, let's see. This is a site. And it is not showing. Oh, there it is. Okay, got it posted on the front page too, yay. Thank you, Mr. Marr, for being there to remind me to do the obvious. Let's see, where's... Okay, live dashboard. Turn that off. Close that page. Open that page. turn that off. Yay, we got five people in the audience. Okay, yay. Someday you'll be performing in front of tens of people. Alright. Okay, let's see, the update. The $400 I sent back due to my own conscience. And I really want to take my conscience out back and beat it with a 2x4. Had to buy a bunch of pest control stuff to try and get rid of the houseflies in my place. I've got a bug zapper that's doing nothing but sitting there, and fly paper strips hanging literally everywhere. It's just not been... Well, ow, 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 ow! Ow! My hair got caught in my headband of my headphones. That's what it was. I tried to pull my, and I keep my hair, cut kind of short, but it got caught in. Oh dang, that hurt, man. That's okay. Daniel, I always want, I'll be, I want to be truthful. Because, yes, I would like more commissions. I would really love to have other people commission, too. I don't want to, I don't want, be shaking down one or two people like a piggy bank. It feels bad. It's wrong. But I want to, do the right thing. Even if it is kind of hard sometimes to tell what the right thing is. I won't say no to commissions, but dude, if you personally, you've made, you've done so many commissions, and I feel bad. I feel bad that I don't know how to put it, but fly up the nose. Like shoving a blowfly up your nose. Oy. Yeah, this is true. But when it's always 2 or 3 people that are making purchasing the commodity, I don't want to be the little matchstick girl. That's what it is. I can't afford to be proud, though. But your own good conscience, if you do want something, yeah, that's what that's what I do. Anyway, let's see. Oh dear. Our numbers went down by 1. We're down to 4. Oh no, we're losing audience. Mayday! Okay. I've come to the conclusion that I am no PewDiePie. You know? I've been, they got this thing, options here for live streaming. Monetize your videos. I'm like, heck yeah, bleep. I'm yet to make a dime off of it, but it feels so responsible to push that little button. Okay, let's see here. Switching over. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing so far. I'm still working on the next page. Hey, get off, bugs. How did... I hate houseflies have got to be like reincarnated a-holes, you know. The jerks of the insect world. I mean, they don't, the average house, it doesn't bite. I know they're supposed to spread disease, but I mean, when you're dealing with bugs, does it bite? That's your first question. Does it sting? Is your next? And that kind of thing. You worry about that. No. What you got is a housefly. What does the housefly do? It lands on you. It lands on you, and it does it over and over and over again. No reason. It just... nothing there for the fly. It just lands on your face. And you brush it off. And it circles and lands right back where it was. It sits there and goes, hey, you're not getting rid of me. And mosquito's smart. Mosquito, you don't know a mosquito's landed on you until it's already gone. And the welt starts, when it starts itching where it bit you. Mosquito got more class than a housefly. Because the housefly is like, I'm here! Crawling on your face, crawling on your arm, crawling on your knee, crawling on your shoulder. And no matter how many times you swat, you'll never hit me. There's nothing you can do to get rid of me. Oh, he's got bug spray. It is to laugh. Of all the creatures God created in the world, the housefly is the only one whose entire design is around annoying you. It buzzes just loud enough to be heard. When it lands, it's just heavy and its feet are prickly, just prickly enough to feel it. And when you go to swat it, it moves just slow enough to give you hope. I mean, house fly swatter. There is a serious design drawback in the house fly swatter. The fly swatter assumes that the fly is going to hold still once it lands. You ever try to kill a fly in midair with a fly swatter? I've nailed a couple in midair. Clear to the far side of the room, and that little booger will come flying right back. It'll land right on your face. Wee, let's do that again. You ever do this thing when you were a kid? You know, you would sneak up on a fly and, like flick it. If you move slow, just to show how cool and how fast your hands were, and how just to show how cool you were, you see a fly land or something, and you move your hand in real slow and flick. If you hit them square in the head just right, you'd kill them. But nobody ever did that, Can you? I mean, you're sitting there, you're sitting there. Imagine what that would give you. What that'd be like. You're sitting there on a park bench, not doing nothing in particular, and all of a sudden, a building behind you whips forward and sends you rocketing down Main Street at 100 miles an hour, about 5 feet off the ground. And then here comes City Hall. And then imagine you get back up and say, my, that was a fast trip. I once saw one of these nature movies. They use super slow mo and real close up cameras and everything to catch what it was like for a bug. For bugs, ants and butterflies and things like that, out in a rainstorm. And they had this one slow mo shot of this moth flying along and this water droplet. Bloosh! Nails it right in the back, right? I mean, that'd be, it's like, is the equivalent of, imagine that every time it rained, it didn't rain, but garbage bags full of water fell from the sky. You're walking out there, oh, don't worry, I got my umbrella. Boosh! All around the neighborhood, bloosh, bloosh, bloosh. Maybe I should have worn my glasses. You thought your day was hard. I don't want no sympathy for no bug. I mean, I'm just saying, bugs are big enough jerks that things that should have clued them in and say maybe we should go away and stop bothering this guy. I mean, if I was bugging if I was like holding a protest in somebody's front porch, no justice, no peace, waving signs and screaming and yelling or whatever, just bugging the hell out, and all of a sudden he turns around and slaps me, and I flew across town from it, I'd get up and I'd go, I don't think I want to go back to that neighborhood again. No, not with bugs. No, not with a fly, not with a housefly. You can pick up something, a fly swatter, something that's the equivalent of the size of a tennis court. Hit it in midair, send it sailing, and it will fly right back to where you are. And of course, you leave a window open a crack, find their way in every time. Never, ever find their way back out. They say God doesn't have a sense of humor. I can't help picturing it, sitting up there on the cloud, nudging Gabriel and saying, "Check this out. I'm going to introduce Adam to the housefly. There you go." If only Noah had swatted twice. And not to be glib, not trying, but have a sense of humor. That's one of the things that one of the problems that we face when we try and teach kids about the Bible. We've been doing this for generations, for decades, if not centuries. We present the stories in the Bible as if we were telling them a fairy tale. And what do I mean by that? I mean we make it cutesy pootsy. You've seen the pictures of you've seen the little nursery school wallpapers with the pictures of the cute little ark with the giraffes, their necks sticking out through the hole in the top, and there's the elephants on the side, and there's a couple of seals, and they're all in this teeny tiny little toy boat looking thing. I remember once seeing this was supposed to be Sunday school material, as in meant to be used to teach the kids about actual events in the Bible. Oh, excuse me just a second. was. Oh yeah. I mean, this is material for actually teaching actual events out of the Bible. And it was a picture. It was supposed to be showing Moses' mother making the basket, the basket of bulrushes, the baby Moses was going to be in during the, to float in the river in the bulrushes, the basket in the bulrushes. A lot of people portray it that she was abandoning the baby to the river, and I said, no. She was hiding the baby during the day. She was a slave. She had to hide the baby someplace while she worked. And hiding it in the river, probably the best things you could think of. Nobody was liable to go wading out into the Nile River looking for a baby basket. Anyway, this picture shows baby Moses there, and his mama and his older sister, and the baby's just all happy, and the mother and the daughter are just smiling and happy and saying, you'd think they were getting ready to go out on a picnic. They took a Jewish woman's desperate struggle for her baby's survival and turned it into drivel. And let's be honest, this goes all, look at your typical Christmas decorations. Okay? Mary, it shows the baby lying in this nice little crib of straw. Yay! And the baby Jesus lying in the straw. And the mother kneeling on one side of the most of them show the mother kneeling next to the crib, with her hands together and all beatific and with a halo around her head. And here's her husband Joseph standing on the other side with his hands together and a beatific look on his face. And over here is the three wise men holding the little presents. And it's absolute garbage. And it's presented like they take the real story and turn it into a children's nursery school fairy tale. And we wonder why they grow up and they drop the Bible like a hot potato when they get older. They haven't been raised on the Bible. They've been raised on a series of kindergarten stories, softened up, and all the nourishment boiled out of them, and served to them on a spoon. You remember that movie that Christian-hating man brought out? It was supposed to be the movie of Noah. It was just a awful mess. Had nothing to do with the actual story. Basically, it was the story of Noah as written by a man who hates God and wants to see how far he can go before he finally gets hit by lightning. But at least this much he understood about the story of Noah. This was not cute little animals marching up the gangplank onto the boat for the little ocean cruise. No, this was the apocalypse. This was doomsday. This it was a worldwide catastrophe, and it wasn't just rain. It was the fountains of the deep breaking up. It was the world just ripping itself apart in a titanic catastrophe. You remember the movie 2012? It was a lot like that. The geologists and archaeologists and the other researchers in Answers in Genesis, they've gone with what the Bible says and the description in the Old Testament of the flood, and the archaeological and geological evidence, and tried to rebuild a picture of what happened with this worldwide cataclysmic flood. It was a cataclysm. But most people are so squeamish about telling their children about this truthfully that these children, they get fed pap. And they grow up and why would they believe the Bible? Why would they stand for the Bible when the truth of the Bible has been presented to them as watered down pap? They need to throw out the last 50 years of so-called Sunday school materials. Yeah, and I would throw VeggieTales, but most of the Bible story presentations of VeggieTales, they're crap. They're watered, they're cutesy-pootsy-fied versions of actual history. No. It is wrong to do this. This is why you get people always say, oh, the animals of the world would never fit on that ark. They don't know what the ark really looked like. They think it was, they don't know what it looked like. They don't know how big it was. They have no real perspective of it. Let me see here. Let me pull something up here. I've seen this picture before. They've considered a lot of things. What little evidence they have. You realize that they are having to do a lot of research and it's a very brief description in the Bible of the flood and of the ark. Let's see. Noah's Ark. Let's see here. Now, they've changed what they think. This is probably the most closest they've gotten to being accurate right here. This one right here. They base the general shape of it on research they did about ancient craft. We're talking ancient Egypt and older, for sailing in deep oceans, that so on and so forth. But now here, see, let me view image. as a teeny tiny picture. Let me zoom in on it for you. Let me move this up. That little thing right there, going on what they know of the given measurements of the ark, this is how big the ark would be. And that there is an elephant to scale. Oh, gee golly gee whiz bang. I think the ark might have been big enough. But no, what do most people see? What do most people see? Let's see here. Come on, computer. You see this? That's what they think Noah's Ark was. Right there. That's what they're raised on. And, what a surprise that nobody believes that this silly thing could have carried all the land, a sample of every land-dwelling species on Earth. They do that with every story. Every Bible story, no matter how, they're squeamish about telling them the truth, which is a tragedy. That is my point, Riley King. The childishness of these infantilized adoptions makes it much more unbelievable. A saccharine fairy tale. Okay, the movie Prince of Egypt. Oh yes, it was very well made, but it was monstrously inaccurate. The things they got wrong with it go on a mile. I spotted dozens of gratuitous errors just in the commercials for the thing. I wasn't going to watch it. I wasn't going to mess with it. I said no, thank you. It wasn't as horrible as that Noah movie, but it was bad enough. They wanted to tell the story of Noah and Moses and all these other characters. They just want to leave God out or make him some sort of abstraction off to the side. Because they know where the path eventually leads before the throne of, the great almighty throne of God. A world full of tears to be shed because people don't want to face the truth. Yeah, the Charleston Heston movie has its own problems. Don't even start on that, Just as always, they went with what was, more dramatic and colorful and would look flashy up on the screen, not with what was accurate. But they at least respected the source material back then. Well, they had enough common sense to be intimidated by the idea of outraging the people who held the source material sacred. Nowadays, it's a goal to offend us. Yeah, they used to want companies and corporations and businesses and entertainers wanted to avoid offending us at one time. Nowadays, it's an objective. And the more upset we get, the more they like it. The bigger the bennies they think it is. They don't want to beat the old Charleston Heston movie. They'd like to forget it and make something that's truly insulting to Christianity, if they could, and get away with it. They're not quite at the point, but they are so close. This is not helping my mood any. This is not. Now, this statement right here, if I am elected president, the very first thing I intend to do on the first day is rescind every single unconstitutional or illegal executive action from President Obama. Ted Cruz. I would vote for him in a heartbeat. Just for that. Well, we're more than likely we're going to get Trump. I know Trump is not a real conservative. I know he's just trying to sell himself like a product. I know all that. But I'm really sick of the conservatives and the Republican Party and everybody hiking up their bloomers and squealing like a nun in a whorehouse every time Trump is mentioned. They are seriously not getting the point of Trump. They are not. He has just basically shown them that their soft soap approach doesn't work. And he's shown them, they're trying to pass him off. Well, he complained about being asked unfair questions. He's not a real tough guy. Well, if he was asked unfair questions, I think that, he's supposed to complain. No, it is not nutless to complain when you are asked unfair questions at an online TV debate. What is nutless, what is absolutely gutless, nutless, dickless, spineless, and brainless is to do what the conservatives and the Republican Party have been doing for the past 40 years, is whenever they're asked an unfair question, they just ignore it. They ignore that they've been stepped on and let it slide on past. Donald Trump is showing them precisely what the American people want to see. The American people want to see a conservative politician. They want to see a conservative politician who is as sick of the mealy mouth routine as everybody else is. People have been waiting for 40 years for a conservative candidate who would stand up there, look the left-wing dipswitch asking him a stupid question and tell him to look him right in the eye and tell him, stuff it up your rear end. People do not want to take the high road anymore because they've seen that when they take the high road, they lose. All the conservatives are standing around and bad-mouthing Trump as much as more than the Democrats are. For the exact same thing. He's crazy, he's crude, he's stupid, he's this. Well, maybe he is. But he is, they came out and did the numbers, and he was 10 points ahead of the next Republican candidate in the public opinion polls. He had 23% of the audience saying they thought he won the debate. The next one down had 13. I know that isn't correct on there, points and percentages and all that, but this is my point. He may be a terrible president, but by God Almighty, I don't think he could possibly be worse than what we are going to get out of the Democrat Party. Good Lord. Their two options are Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. A rabid, frothing at the mouth socialist and a sea hag. I would rather have Donald Trump than any Democrat candidate they've got. He would have to go out and start setting things on fire to do a worse job than Obama. And he would at least know he does something that none of the others do. He knows what the people want, and he goes out of his way to look like he can deliver it to them. And then he doesn't give a tinker's damn what his enemies think of him. The entire Republican Party, we give them power, and they fold like wet toast. It's like, boom, congratulations, you have the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. What are you going to do now? Well, I'm going to let my testicles fall off onto the floor and roll under the table. My spine's going to fall out my ass, and I'm going to roll my boneless jelly-like form over to the left side of the aisle so I can kiss the feet of the opposing party. Trump's insane. Trump's insane. It's going to take a crazy person to try and take on this government. He does what nobody else does. He listens to the audience. And I mean really listens. I mean, Ted Cruz, he's got the right stance. He's got the right politics. He's got the right values. But he's still not playing hardball. All it's, when the press ignores a conservative politician, the conservative politicians just throw their hands up in the air. When the press ignores Donald Trump, he turns around, kicks him in the balls, and makes them pay attention. If he is such a dismal failure, why is he winning? I want Ted Cruz for president. I want Sarah Palin for president. Well, it looks like we're going to have to settle for somebody who actually wants to win. That's what Trump has that they don't. Every election, the past 2 or 3 elections, I mean, since Reagan, we have had far better men than what we ended up with running. Or allegedly better, but the problem is all these ones that are supposed to be better than any of the candidates, the ones who have a staunch conservative reputation, who supposedly stand by conservative principles. They fold. They quit. Whenever it gets tough, they throw in the towel. Trump may be crazy. He may be a terrible president. But that's not going to matter if nobody else is willing or is determined to win. I see these websites, oh, he's no conservative, oh, he's going to be a terrible candidate, he'd be a terrible president. Tell me, how good of a president is someone who isn't determined to win? How good of a president do you get out of somebody like that? for about the past 15 years of my life, I have put my support behind candidate after candidate who I considered, after serious research, to be a real keeper of the faith. Keeper of the flame. Somebody who had people who have had stellar records, pristine personal pasts, highly intelligent, staunchly conservative, and again and again and again, halfway into the race, they throw in the towel and quit. And all that's left is sad sacks like McCain. Who couldn't win a prize for coming in second place. The guy's, is the guy's such a loser. He could enter a contest for world's greatest loser and he'd come in second. Because he's a rhino right from the start. He's a nebbish, like every other sorry-ass Republican candidate and politician. They're like those losers at school who spent their entire every school year trying to get the cool kids to like them. Worthless. Candidate who won't fight is worthless. If you won't fight to make it to the end, if you won't fight to make it to the end of an election, if you won't fight to hold your ground, why would I think you would fight for this country? Trump at least wants to win. The rest of them seem only interested in getting into office so that the press can, so that they hope that the press will write a nice story about them on the front page. If I do this, maybe Senpai will love me. Those idiots have been trying to woo the press for years. They're trying to woo the mainstream for years. Haven't figured out yet that they're like a 13-year-old girl trying to woo a 30-year-old gay guy. No, he doesn't like you. He's not going to like you, and he's never going to like you. I'm just waiting to see which ones throw in the towel now. This is why nobody gets involved. This is why nobody cares anymore. Because they'll back a candidate heart and soul, only to see, even if they win, the candidate betrays them. One of the main problems with our system is that it's a fundamental problem with the design of how we elect people. Our electoral system is called first past the post. It's where the one with the most votes is the winner. The problem is self-evident. Okay, first of all, first past the post. This is not about moral failings of our particular culture. This is, well, it's basically mathematics. It's a mathematical flaw in the design of our electoral system. And no, I'm not talking about the Electoral College. Whether it was a popular vote or an Electoral College vote, same problem, first past the post. You see, it boils down to this, is that when you have first past the post voting, you eventually, it always will devolve down to two parties. With diametrically opposed views on at least several policies. There'll be political opposites. And everybody will fall into one or the other camp, regardless of how mediocre the fit is, rather. And the next tip is that every time a third candidate comes in, the result is that, well, for instance, suppose you had a campaign of cats versus dogs. Now we introduce the candidate Wolf. Wolf comes in, and all the people who don't like Wolf will move over to Cat. All the people that would have voted for Dog are divided between Dog and Wolf because they're so similar. End result being is that the Cat gets elected because the Wolf divided the Dog vote. And this results in both parties eventually becoming more and more like each other, and eventually, pushing off the edge of the map, ideology-wise. there are videos on YouTube on first past the post voting. I've played them here before. I won't do it again, but just look it up. First past the post voting. The problem with first past the post voting. There are ways to work around there. There's several different alternative methods of voting. Which work far better because they are balanced to avoid that problem. I may be going off a little early today because I'm sort of running low tank. But I'll try and hold out for another hour or two. These flies are driving me nuts. I forget the name of the alternative voting system that one man suggested. It was, rather than voting for one candidate, each voter is given a list. Each voter is given a ballot, and they list the candidates in their order of preference. You know, they have 5 candidates, and if you want, you can list all of them in order. You know, from first choice to last choice. Or, you know, if there are only 2 of them that you can even tolerate, you just put those 2 on it. Again, in order of preference. They gather up the ballots, they count them, and the one with the least votes in the number 1 slot gets dropped. Their votes get divided up between the next 2 candidates. It's spelled out better. Basically, is that they run through and recount each time until they end up with a final candidate. The result is that instead of a small voting minority of the population choosing the president, the president is chosen by preference. Giving the president an actual mandate better than a simple up or down vote. Getting a little drowsy at the moment. Got up at about 6 or 7 this morning, and I'm really not used to getting up that early and sort of been running on low fuel ice. Oh, why don't I do? Get some more vitamin drink here. Let me. Give me a second. I gotta pour myself some flavored water. Ouch. Trying to get back on the wagon with my diet. Slow going. Just dropping soda out of my diet again is a tough one. Fortunately, I've got these energy water flavor thingies. Has caffeine and a little bit of B3, B6, B12. No sugar. Fruit flavor. Add to water. Good stuff. Available at your Walmart under the Great Value brand. Ooh. Ugh. Bugs. Ugh. It's very simple. The reason that Donald Trump is so far ahead is because the American people feel bullied by the government. And anybody that we feel bullied by the government, by the mainstream media, by the courts, by the entertainment and educational industries in our society. They lie to us, cheat us, spit in our faces, and call us defamatory names. And when you are picked on like that, there is nobody that you love more than somebody who gives it, makes sure that they take, turns around and gives it right back to them. And the fact that the fact that the other Republicans and people who say they're conservatives, and the conservatives, and you got all these pundits coming out and huffing and fussing about, oh, he's crazy, he's rude. He's crazy, he's obnoxious, he's rude, he's just a monkey flinging poo. Yeah, great. Good work there on winning the American people over. The first thing, when people, it's been going on for so long. One of Mark Twain's less well-known works, he did lots of short stories. And one of them he did was a parody of the human conscience. And he described it. He was sitting there in his drawing room by the fireplace, just pondering things, when in comes this musty little green man, and he described it as a little cigar-smoking, mildew green man that looks suspiciously like the author. And the little green man comes in, hops up on the mantelpiece, and proceeds to inform him that this is his conscience. His the idea being is that the less of a conscience you have, the smaller it is. The more of a guilty conscience you have, the bigger it is. And the purpose of a conscience is basically to pester you and bully rag you and bother you, whether or not it makes sense, to make you feel guilty about anything they can make you feel guilty about. And Mark Twain remarked, you're awful small. That doesn't say you're an awful small guilty conscience. That doesn't say much about me. He says you should see your editors. We need a microscope. And anyway, he's one of the things that the man tells him is that there are certain things that'll make a conscience fall dead asleep. In Mark Twain's case, he said it would be lectures from his dowager aunt. Because his aunt would come around all the time, lecturing him about, you need to get right and get right, God, and she would lament out loud and start praying out loud for him, and he said that would make his conscience just keel over and go into a coma. And the story ends with him, his aunt showing up. She can't see the little green man, and she proceeds to do her routine where she, Mark Twain is concluding, that the narrator has concluded that that the consciences are horrible little tyrants who make people absolutely miserable to no good end. He points out that if migrant workers, he said, if he gave, if he saw a traveling bum, if he gave them a job, he felt guilty for encouraging their transient behavior. If he didn't give them a job, he felt guilty for not helping out his fellow man. If he called a cop, he felt guilty about that. If he didn't... So, no matter what he did, his miserable little spiteful conscience would make him miserable about it. And which is why he concluded that the human conscience was a hypocritical, sadistic little tyrant. And anyway, his aunt shows up and proceeds to start her usual lamentations about how wayward he was, and she falls to her knees and starts praying for his soul, and his conscience passes right out, just falls dead on the floor, dead asleep on the floor, and Mark Twain said he took advantage of that brief moment. He jumped on the little green man and literally ripped him limb from limb and flung him into the fire, and turned to his aunt and said, "Flee for your life. As one last gesture of human compassion, I am letting you flee for your life, for I am freed from the chains of my conscience." And it concludes with him saying is that if anybody is inquiring after cadavers, I have dozens of them stacked up in the woodshed from the steady supply of homeless vagrants that pass through. And my attitude is that what I'm saying is that the surest thing to make people's conscience fall asleep anymore is to start lecturing them like one of these whiny social justice warriors. And that's precisely what the conservatives out there are doing. You're crazy for support, Donald Trump is crazy. And Donald Trump is stupid. Donald Trump is blah, 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 blah. And how can you possibly support this hypocritical man? Blah, blah, blah. And everybody, and they start on that, and it's like, and people tune them out. Wah 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 wah. Just like they do with these harpy feminists. I mean, when a feminist starts talking, nobody's listening to them. They're just wishing they'd shut up. They're not going to get rid of Donald Trump by insulting him. you're not the conservatives. They're right. Donald Trump is probably a terrible person for president, but they are not going to get rid of him by squawking about him like one of these toucan-haired, square-glassed, spittle-flinging, whiny feminists talking about how she was psychically raped because somebody didn't give her a job for being a feminist. Or they start going on about how hateful us cisgendered people are. All us heteronormative hate mongers are just mean and spiteful because we insist that mayonnaise is not a gender. People like Trump right now because he is being as rude and blunt and mean and nasty to the mainstream as the mainstream has been to the rest of us for decades. They like how he's doing it far better than they like how these other conservatives aren't doing it. I think I've finally just switching topics. I think I finally got a way to explain what it is. Now, one of the things that keeps popping up in the My Little Pony fandom is a lot of authors write Celestia and Luna as being gods. That offends me for obvious religious reasons, first of all. But you try and explain why it bothers me, with any more detail or depth, and it's difficult to get across to people. They don't quite get it. Well, obviously, if they're not Christian, they're not going to hold the name of God or the authority of God or the position of God with any reverence. So they're not going to understand. And they go on with, oh, well, the Greek gods were like that, and blah, 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 blah. They don't get it. They don't understand. But it occurs to me that one way of phrasing it, I don't. I do not like it when writers assign divine authority to characters that do not behave with divine wisdom in the least. And talking about, the Greek gods, the Roman gods, the ancient pagan gods, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why would that make any difference? I object to the heathen gods of the ancient Greeks and Romans for the same reason. They take something that behaves like a barbarian, like a rutting subhuman, and call it a god. Why should that be less of a stink in my nostrils? The title of godhood should be reserved for things that are holy, above humanity, and not just in power. Explain to me why it should be any less offensive to me than some thoughtless savage propping a rock up on end and calling it a deity. what's his name? Richard Dawkins. He likes to go on, the God of the Old Testament. He was a spiteful, jealous deity, murderous and bloodthirsty, because he would kill people for just worshiping a different God. And I'm like, talk about lacking perspective. I would love to be in the audience. I say, I just hold up my hand, and you say yes, and I'd say, "Oh, Mr. Dawkins, we hear that your wife is divorcing you. Yeah, she's leaving you for her inflatable date." Yeah, she had a real doll made. She says it's better in the sack than you, as well. And I just wait for the expression on his face, just for him to start to get mad. And I say, you got mad at the very idea of somebody suggesting your wife would leave you for a rubber dildo doll. How do you think the real God feels when human beings take fish and animals and trees and rocks and lumps of clay and mold them with big boobs and butts and set them up on it and call them gods instead of him? You got that mad at somebody just suggesting that your wife would leave you for an inflatable date. Just how murderous would you become if you found out your wife had actually done that? And never you mind that these false gods that people were worshiping instead of the real God were bloodthirsty and monstrous. The God of the Hebrews versus the god, the pagan god Moloch. No contest. The people that worship Moloch would take they would get, they would have orgies around the island, and if they got pregnant, they would sacrifice their children, newborn babies, sometimes children as old as 5, 10 years old. They would burn them alive to this pagan god. Why wouldn't God be furious with human beings who had abandoned him to go and worship that kind of thing? And backing up to the original point, I hate it when writers try and call Celestia and Luna deities. I mean, the people who made the show, epic load of dumb. Okay. At least, thank God, they were smart enough to not have the ponies running around building temples to them or anything like that. But doggone, they didn't think. Oh, they moved the sun and moon. Oh, we can see where this is going. And every Hot Topic neo-pagan wannabe ran with it. But no, we've seen these characters. We've seen Celestia, we've seen Luna. They do not behave divinely. They do not make... They are not divinely wise. They are not divinely foresightful. They are not divinely... They are not omniscient, omnipotent, or omnipresent, omnipowerful, omnipresent. They don't have any of that. They are not even, divinely imbued with power. What they do used to be done by mortals. And it bothers me when they take these characters and try and rewrite them as gods. This is why I make such a point of posting things, listing, like the recent post I did on one of my journals, listing off all the things that Celestia in particular had epically screwed up throughout the series. From big to small. And they get mad. They get immensely angry when you dare suggest that Celestia and Luna, they may be immortal or even incredibly long-lived, but they're, and they may be incredibly powerful, but they are not deities. They're not supposed to be deities. They should not be, and you list off the reasons why. Now, they like the idea of Celestia, the goddess. The fantasy of a non-judgmental mommy figure. People are dumb. They are enamored of the idea of a Mother Earth goddess type. They have no clue what the typical Earth goddess mother was like. There isn't one. I mean, most of the ancient traditions of the earth worshipping types, just gruesome. There is not a pagan religion out there that did not, at some point, involve, among other things, sexual depravity, brutalization, human sacrifice. Oh, yes, indeed. You can see the blood gutters on the stone in the middle of Stonehenge. And they're all these scholars. Oh, well, they didn't really use this for sacrifices. It's just a coincidence that it has blood gutters cut down the sides, and they'll blather on about, you know. No, it was whether you're talking the Celts, the Druids, the Gaelics, the ancient Romans, the ancient Greeks. You go sifting through them, you go sifting through it. Eventually, it pops up depravities that. This is an interesting thing. Is these people are modern Earth Mother worshippers, environmentalists. What is their refrain now? What is their refrain now? That humanity is nothing special. A bug is a bird, is a worm, is a baby boy. You know, they're all equal. They're all equally precious to Mother Gaia. And so they're perfectly cool with millions of humans dying if they think that it will please the Earth Goddess. The more things change, the more things stay the same. No lie at all. Nature is not a mother. I've said this before. Nature is a mother. She's a mean, green, evil bitch who eats her own young. And inevitably, the people that worship nature mothers start behaving just like her. I'd like to say, isn't it an interesting parallel that the pagan Earth Mother worshippers of the past would sacrifice people to make the rain fall, or to make or to make spring come on time. And nowadays we have people who worship nature, who would sacrifice the rest of us to prevent global warming. But you think about it, just about any false religion, any faith other than that in the one true God has always devolved to that. When men stop worshiping God, they start worshiping themselves. And they stop seeing other men as human beings. pagans of Rome didn't have a Colosseum full of lions because of their enlightened state. Oh, there's another parallel for you. They care more. People today care more about the fate of the lion than they do the fate of the innocent people that live around him. What a surprise. Same week that Cecil the lion was shot by a hunter, and everybody started weeping and blubbering into their Birkenstocks. A lion attacked a young boy out in the fields, mauled him to death. Cecil the lion made the front page in Facebook overnight. Nobody knows about the little boy, and nobody cares. They worship nature and treat man like dirt. This is nothing new. It's an old sermon. This just, I don't know. Same old sermon that every Christian has been preaching since the dawn of time. That man without God is depraved. Man without, that humanity without Christ, the Son of God, is without hope. They think that they can have the hedonism of pagan beliefs and somehow still retain the ethics and virtues of Christian society. They want the benefits of living in a Christian society without the Christianity, and they're not going to get it. Okay, I posted information on the website about the current Kickstarter. You can see it there yourself. It's sort of sputtering along. Got 20 days left to raise 2,000. So, not exactly. I'm thinking I probably should have set it at 1,000. Set the goal at 1,000. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. It could reach 1,000. maybe at this rate, but 2,000, not likely. As always, I'm open for commissions. I have you go to the website, and there are links up at the top. Buy books, where you can purchase the books. Higher commissions. Just click on the links and go to the site and click, 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 clickety click. I also take donations. Yay. And I'll be honest, I would like to see more people. Thank you all very much for your charitable donations, and for your commissions, and your book purchases, and all the other stuff you do. But I have to admit to feeling guilty that I end up going back to the same well over and over again, so to speak. The same group of people seem to make the same. It's always the same circle of people who make the purchases and donations and pledges and all that other stuff. I really want to produce something that millions of people want and are willing to pay for. That's how you get, that's how you become rich, famous, and prosperous. Or at the very least, financially stable. By making something everybody wants for $1 and selling it for $2. Climbing up that hill is the hard part. is 8:47. It is about 10 minutes till 9. And I'm running out of steam fast. Let's see. Okay. I think